tonight's Chicago Lane Collegiate Athletic Conference matchup between the visiting Tigers of Olivet, Nazarene University and your Fighting Saints. At this time, let's introduce our starting lineups first for the visiting Tigers. Senior guard number 4, Landon Fletcher. Senior forward number 10, Sam Emick. Junior guard number 22, Caleb Swearingen. Senior guard number 23, Tyler Schmidt. Sophomore center number 30, Eli Edwards. The Tigers are coached by Nick Murphy in his 6th season. And now the starting lineup for your Fighting Saints. The 6'5" redshirt sophomore forward out of Wilmington, Illinois, number 22, Ben Kreitz. The 6'5" junior forward out of Miramar, Florida, number 0, Ramel Davis. The 6'1" graduate guard hailing from Henryton, Ohio, number 2, Tay Jones. The 6'3" senior guard out of Tiffin, Israel, number 4, Nadav Gerber. The graduate forward out of Waukegan, Illinois, the reigning CCHC Player of the Week, number 24, E.J. Charles. Your Fighting Saints are coached by Ryan Marks.
The starting lineups have been announced, and we are ready to get rolling. From Joliet, Illinois, University of St. Francis, it's Fighting Saints basketball. Today taking on their conference rivals, the Tigers of Olivet Nazarene University. Welcome to the broadcast. Terry Bonadonna here on the play-by-play as the Fighting Saints try to make it a perfect day. The women's basketball team just took care of business against the Olivet women, and on the men's side's trying to hold up their end of the bargain as well. The Saints come into today's match on a bit of a losing run, 2-7 overall this season. They've dropped their last 5 games consecutively, including a pair of them here this weekend in the New Year's Classic. Non-conference season is over, though. It's time to get into CCAC play for real. And this is a big one today, as tough a task as the Saints will probably have all year in conference games. Olivet number 18 in the country. They are 9-3 as we begin play today. We're ready for the opening tip. Sam Emick against E.J. Charles, and the tip is won by Charles and the Fighting Saints. Saints in white, going from right to left to get us started today. Nadav Gerner, E.J. Charles, Ramel Davis, Ben Kreitz, and Tay Jones. That's your starting 5 today for the Fighting Saints. This is Davis in possession of the basketball with 13 seconds on the shot clock. Davis runs into some trouble, kicks it out to Tay Jones. Jones, the Saints' leading scorer this year, loses his footing, loses the ball. It's a turnover. Here's Sam Emick on the other side. Emick can't score over Davis. Offensive rebound, Eli Edwards. Another chance here for Olivet. Emick works his way down the left side. Layup, no. Offensive rebound again. Third chance, no good from Eli Edwards, but he gets his own miss. Fourth opportunity of the possession, and a miss from Schmidt. Tyler Schmidt can't connect. 0 for 4 on the possession. We're still scoreless. It's Tyler Schmidt, Eli Edwards, Caleb Swearingen, Landon Fletterer, and Sam Emick. That's your starting 5 for Olivet. We met almost all of them just on that last possession alone. Charles's pass is kicked out of bounds. Still Saints ball. Shot clock resets to 20, just over a minute into the action. No score yet. Saints turned it over on their first possession. Tigers went 0 for 4 shooting on theirs. Nadav Gerner inbounds it to Ramel Davis. Davis from the corner, dribbles his way into the paint, fouled going up. And he'll go to the free throw line. Eli Edwards called for the foul. First foul of the game. So the Saints still do not have a field goal attempt, but they do have a chance to take the lead. Davis, a 76% shooter from the line. And that shot's good. Davis ranks third on the team, averaging 10.9 points per game. One of 3 Saints in double figures, along with Tay Jones and E.J. Charles. Misses the second free throw, still 1-0. Charles tried to save the rebound, but he stepped on the baseline in his attempt, so it's a turnover. Not a turnover, but they do give the ball to Olivet after the missed free throw. Here's Landon Flederer setting up the Tigers offense. Flederer swings it off to the right side. Three-pointer Tyler Schmidt misses short. Rebound deflected to Edwards. Edwards puts it up, no good. And finally, the Saints get a rebound. Eli Edwards already has 3 offensive rebounds in today's game, but Olivet is 0 for 6 from the field. E.J. Charles skips it outside. Tay Jones poked away from behind by Flederer and out of bounds. He'll stay with the offense. St. Francis up 1-0. Slow offensive start. Saints are still looking for their first field goal attempt of the game. Olivet's missed 6 of them. Gerner inbounds it to Ben Kreitz, getting the start today over the injured Ben Fatz, who has missed the last 2 games. Nadav Gerner drives, puts it up off the backboard, no good. Rebound ripped out of the air by Sam Emick, the 6'6" senior forward. Edwards kicks it outside. Schmidt finds Caleb Swearingen on the cut. Turnaround jumper is good from Swearingen. About 13 feet out, dead center. Swearingen gets Olivet on the board, gives them their first lead, 2-1. Gerner walks it towards the left sideline. Bounced into the post. This is Ramel Davis. Davis backs in on Swearingen. Help defense coming, kicks it outside. Kreitz from the top, three-pointer is good. Ben Kreitz has the first bucket of the game for St. Francis. We go back and forth early on. 2 lead changes in the opening couple of minutes. Here's Caleb Swearingen. Tyler Schmidt fires it inside. Sam Emick. Emick fighting for positioning against Nadav Gerner, banks it in. Emick was able to handle Gerner that time down low, and we're knotted up 4-all after 3 minutes of play. E.J. Charles flips it outside. This is Gerner. The point guard bounces into the post. It's Charles, left side of the basket. Backs up to the block. His man falls down on defense, and Charles is fouled. Sam Emick tried to take the charge, but the officials called his bluff. Let him go on the flop, and it left an opening for E.J. Charles. That opening was filled by Tyler Schmidt, who came in and committed the foul. First foul on Schmidt, second on the team. Charles to the line. E.J. Charles had a big weekend. Moved actually ahead of Tay Jones as the team's offensive leader, scoring 12 points per game. He was in double figures against both Campbellsville and Freed Hardeman on Saturday and Sunday. Charles was named CCAC Player of the Week for his efforts. He makes the second free throw, 6-4. Saints once again in the lead. They've been there 3 times today, never by more than 2 in these opening minutes. Offensive foul. Eli Edwards turns it over, didn't have the ball, but his moving screen knocked Charles out of position. And Edwards already has committed 2 fouls. So a rough start for Olivet in that regard, as their starting forward has to go to the bench. He's replaced by Jack Holohan. They lose some size. Edwards 6'7", Houlihan is 6'2". So Ben Kreitz a little bit taller than the man who's guarding him now as he swings to the outside. Receives the pass up top. He hands it to EJ Charles. Ben Kreitz gives it to Tay Jones. Jones step back from the baseline. Jumper misses, short. Rebound to the Tigers, who trail by 2 after 4 minutes. It's a high-scoring team. They've been held in check so far, very early, obviously. Houlihan blocked out of bounds by Charles. Kreitz had good defense on Houlihan as well. That was already going to be a very difficult shot. But Charles came in to help, and he swatted it straight out. 20 on the shot clock, still belongs to Olivet Nazarene as the Saints make their first substitutions of the game. Kazimir Ochiaka is in, along with Dakota Joachim. Flederer gives it to Schmidt, wide open three. Schmidt misses. He's gotten some excellent looks early on, and one of the best shooters in the country has missed them all so far today. Ochiaka backing down on Houlihan. Ochiaka up with the right hand, doesn't get the roll. And it's rebounded by Olivet Nazarene. Houlihan bounces inside. Emick, good positioning. He's able to lay it in to tie the score at 6. Slow offensive start to this game. It's allowed these two teams to essentially trade baskets. Each time one team has scored, the other has responded. But they've been few and far between as Tay Jones drills the three. Second three-pointer of the game for St. Francis. Ben Kreitz hit one early, and now Tay Jones has one as well. His first points tonight. 9-6 Saints lead. Poked away from Schmidt by Ochiaka, and he gets the steal. Good defense by Kazimir Ochiaka. Tyler Schmidt's not been able to do anything yet tonight. Jones lobs it in for Charles. Good catch by E.J. Charles. In traffic, banks it in. Charles took advantage of the fact that Tyler Schmidt has a foul already. Didn't want to pick up his second. So he backed off a little bit on a ball that he maybe could have stolen. Once Charles brought it in, he made a nice move to get to the hoop. 4 points for Charles. Sam Emick's got 3. Actually, Emick's got 7, but I mean he had 3 on that play specifically. He leads all scorers. He pulls Olivet to within 2 after they had trailed by a game-high 5 points prior to it. Strip from Ochiaka. The ball is loose. Scooped up by Tay Jones. Davis from the corner. Backs into the paint. Davis, turnaround, up with the right, no good. Rebound, Caleb Swearingen. Olivet trying to tie the score. Emick is fouled. Sam Emick's been good tonight. 7 points already. He's going to the line for 2 free throws here. He's a 74% foul shooter. Emick's a good scorer, 17 points a game on the season, ranked second best for Olivet. But typically the focal point of this team is Tyler Schmidt, the 2-time All-American. Emick makes the first free throw. 11-10. Schmidt's off to a cold start, though. Emick has really stepped up. As Olivet goes to their bench now, Daniel Murphy checks in along with Austin Eifert. Flederer, Emick, and Schmidt stay on the floor. Second free throw is good. We're tied for the 3rd time today. 11-11, 13:35 to play. Davis out to Joachim. Bounce back into Davis. One-on-one with Emick. Davis, turnaround, no good. Rebound to Austin Eifert of Olivet. Step back from Daniel Murphy. Looks across court, finds Flederer, and Flederer drains the 3. Landon Flederer has his first points of the night. And Olivet Nazarene has the 14-11 lead. Their biggest lead so far. St. Francis has been up by as many as 5 in this first half. Connor Casper passes to his right. Here's Dakota Joachim. Ochiaka at the free throw line has it knocked away. Loose ball picked up by Emick, but Ochiaka gets it right back. Flipped inside, nice move by Casper, no finish. There's Ochiaka, second chance in. Good hustle by the Saints. Ochiaka first with the steal. A good fake by Casper, but he wasn't able to finish it. And Kazimir Ochiaka was there to clean it up. 14-13. Olivet has the lead and the ball. Emick, reverse layup, no. Tries to grab his own rebound. It's knocked away. And the loose ball secured by Flederer. Down to the corner, an offensive foul called on Olivet. Emick is called for his first. The Saints go back to their bench. Nadav Gerner, starting point guard, returns to the floor. Nick Nego gets his first action of the night. So Gerner is the only starter out there right now for St. Francis. Olivet makes a change too. Caleb Swearingen is in for Sam Emick. Short breather for Swearingen, right back out there now. Gerner to Nego. Nick Nego bounces it to the high posts. It's Ochiaka. Out to Casper. Casper swings it from the right to left, passes back right to Nego. No good on the three-pointer. Casper gets the rebound. No good. Tried to put it right back up and he missed it. And now Connor Casper is called for a foul, fighting for the loose ball. Landon Flederer hands it off to Daniel Murphy. Murphy rips it outside. It's Schmidt on the drive. Pull up from close range. No good. Schmidt still scoreless on the night. Nadav Gerner tried to keep the rebound alive for the Fighting Saints, but he stepped on the baseline as he attempted to save it. So it is Olivet Nazarene basketball. Shot clock resets to 20. 11:32 to play in the first half. Ben Kreitz hops off the bench. Kazimir Ochiaka has looked really good so far. Probably the best that Ochiaka has looked this season since he was activated 3 games ago. He checks out, gets a rest. Swearingen backs up, gives it to Landon Flederer. Flederer steps into a 3 and misses it. Rebound Casper. Here's Nego. Up top, Kreitz hit a 3 earlier. This time he elects not to take it with the defense closing in. Gerner to a cutting Kreitz. Kreitz backs in on Eifert, turns around, fires off the glass, no good. Here's Daniel Murphy for the Tigers. Murphy races in on Casper, misses the runner. Gerner gets the rebound and keeps his dribble alive as he stumbles a little bit. Ahead to Joachim, no good. Great ball movement. Gerner to Kreitz to Joachim, but Joachim comes a little bit short on the layup. Now a steal for Dakota Joachim. Got poked in the eye, it looks like, on the play as well. He was grabbing at his eye as he knocked the ball loose and still is on the offensive end. And a whistle blows. As the Saints had slowed things down in their half-court game, they were essentially playing at a man disadvantage with Joachim not really able to see the play. Thought he was grabbing at his eye. He might have been grabbing at his nose. Either way, his eyes were covered. He had his hand up there. And it happened as he came up with a steal. It was a good defensive play by Joachim. But as he knocked the ball loose, apparently got poked in the eye or hit in the face somewhere incidentally, started grabbing it immediately. So he'll check out for the moment. Lewis McGlasson comes in. First time we've seen him since late November. McGlasson's been out with an injury, but he returns to action here, and that's a nice boost to the Fighting Saints, a 9-point per game scorer. Nick Nego with 10 on the shot clock, passes it back to the logo. Kreitz gives to Casper. Nego on the right side, dribbles through traffic and loses the ball. Stolen away by Landon Flederer. Olivet has it with a 1-point lead. Swearingen gives to Murphy. Olivet hasn't been able to figure out this St. Francis defense yet. Swearingen drives on McGlasson all the way in. Layup is good. Seems like most of the teams that the Saints play end up below their season average scoring-wise. Olivet had a good possession there, but still well below their pace. So far today, they came in averaging 93 points per game, one of the best offensive teams in the country, and notably, Tyler Schmidt still has not scored after 10.5 minutes. Nadav Gerner drives. Gerner, layup, no. Rebound tipped around and brought in by Caleb Swearingen. Olivet takes possession. Flederer kicks it to the outside. Murphy cuts down the lane. He's fouled on the floor. It's on Nick Nego. First foul on Nego. E.J. Charles returns to the floor. Connor Casper leaves for the Saints. Flederer is the inbounder. Gets it in up top to Swearingen. Bounced into the post. It's Schmidt. Schmidt drives on Kreitz. Good move, and he's fouled. (9:12) to play in the first half. Ben Kreitz is called for his first foul, and Tyler Schmidt goes to the free throw line. Schmidt hits 82% of his free throws. Very rare for a scorer of his caliber to still be sitting on a goose egg at this stage of the game, but he finally picks up his first after nearly 11 minutes. Schmidt came in averaging 22 points per game, down a bit from last year when he was named an NAIA All-American for the second consecutive season, unanimous CCAC Player of the Year. He's certainly going to be in the running for that award again this year as he connects on his first 2 points. 5-point lead for Olivet, their biggest so far. Saints led by 5 at one point as well, but Olivet's on a 12-2 run ever since. E.J. Charles misses a quick three, but Nadav Gerner grabs the offensive rebound. Gerner on the wing, guarded by Schmidt. Crosses over, gets into the paint, kicks it out to Lewis McGlasson. His three-pointer is good. That's what the Saints have been missing with McGlasson out of the lineup. They don't have a ton of really good spot-up shooters, but McGlasson is one of them. It's a big three there. The third made three-pointer tonight for the Saints. Sam Emick drives and misses. Eli Edwards fights for the rebound, can't grab it. Now it's loose on the floor, and we've got a tie-up. Possession arrow faces Olivet. So they will keep the ball. Eli Edwards playing with 2 fouls for ONU. They've got all of their starters on the floor right now. Flederer inbounds to Emick. Got off to a hot start. 7 points for Emick. He scored 7 of his team's first 11. Still sitting on that number, though, as Schmidt bounces it into Edwards. Edwards backs in, poked away by Charles. Knocked ahead to McGlasson. McGlasson takes it into Landon Flederer, and Flederer is called for the foul. So St. Francis will get a chance to tie the score from the free throw line as Flederer is called for his first foul. Lewis McGlasson gets 2 free throws. First shot is good. 85% of Lewis McGlasson's field goal attempts this year have come from three-point range. And so that was a very rare occasion for him to work his way inside and try to score in the paint. It ended up getting him to the free throw line, but he misses the second. 1 of 2. It's his first missed free throw this year. Missed shot for Edwards, and Olivet not able to grab the offensive rebound this time as McGlasson saves it. Here's Charles, tripped up, throws it towards the basket, no good. Offensive rebound, another chance for Nego. Rims out on the 3. Bodies flying all over the place, no whistles over the last minute. 1 point game still. Olivet ahead 18-17. Close start to this one. 7.5 minutes to go. St. Francis playing tough against another ranked opponent today as Schmidt's pass is intercepted by E.J. Charles. It drifted on him. Nice pass from Charles ahead to Gerner, and Gerner is fouled. Number 2 on Emick. 7 minutes, 21 seconds left in the first half. Nadav Gerner, just a 50% free throw shooter, is at the line to tie and take the lead. He achieves the tie. 4th time tonight that this game has been knotted up. Very competitive first half. Very similar for St. Francis to some of their recent games. It's really good competition over the weekend. They led by 1 at halftime against Campbellsville, pulled away. Had a pretty big lead for much of the second half, but ended up falling by 1 point in the end. And then against number 11, Freed Hardeman on Sunday, they were down by just 1 point at halftime before Freed Hardeman pulled away in the second half. Second straight game against a ranked opponent for the Fighting Saints. This is Tyler Schmidt. He was back to the basket, working his way in on Lewis McGlasson. Schmidt, turnaround, no. Still hasn't made a field goal yet. Nadav Gerner picks it up and gives to Ramel Davis on the left side. St. Francis is in the lead, 19-18 our score. Charles to Ochiaka at the free throw line. Kashmir gives it outside. This is Charles, steps to his left, fires a three and misses it. Rebound goes to Daniel Murphy. Saints lead is still just one. Olivet can reclaim it on this possession. Ochiaka tried to poke it away from Murphy. Murphy kept it alive into Edwards. Eli Edwards lays it in. The Tigers are back in front, 20-19. Davis bounces to Ochiaka. Hand off to Gerner. 10 on the shot clock for Davis. Davis guarded by Murphy. One dribble, a jump shot, no. Charles taps the rebound out to Ochiaka. Nice job by the Saints keeping it alive. Charles on the right side. Shot clock again reaches 10 seconds. Lewis McGlasson fakes the shot, dribbles to the free throw line, gives it back out to Gerner. 4 seconds to shoot. Gerner gets the screen, 2 seconds. Step back, 2-point jumper, no good. It's not Gerner's shot. Didn't want to take it, but with the shot clock running down, he had no chance. That was a difficult one with a hand in his face. Caleb Swearingen passes around to the left side. Flederer. Here's Daniel Murphy. Schmidt in the corner. The clock running down for them at 5. Schmidt fights it up and scores. First field goal of the game for Tyler Schmidt. Took him 15 minutes. He's got 4 points. 22-19. Olivet Nazarene leads. Gerner looking for Davis, knocked away by Murphy, out of bounds. Tay Jones checks in for Lewis McGlasson. Jones had a pretty good spell on the bench. Back out there now. And Nadav Gerner heads out. Dakota Joachim checks back in. Here's Charles on the wing. Takes it in on Swearingen. Pull up from in the paint. Charles has a nice friendly roll from the back of the rim. 6 points for E.J. Charles. The Saints are within 1. Approaching 4.5 minutes to play in the first half. Daniel Murphy dribbles along the baseline, loses control of the ball. Ochiaka reaches down to pick it up. Knocked out of his hands, and Davis secures the loose ball. The Saints can take the lead here. It's Charles. Knocked out of his hands. Charles called timeout. He was falling towards the back line, and he got the timeout called to avoid the turnover. 22-21 as the Saints and the Tigers head to their respective benches. 4:16 to play in the first half. Olivet Nazarene has the advantage, but it's a tight one. And again, this is the way that St. Francis has played. Their third ranked opponent of the season. They're 0-2 against the previous two, but one of them went to overtime. The other one just 2 days ago, or 3 days ago now. Time flies so fast. They lost by 27 against Freed Hardeman on Sunday, but that was a game that was a 1-point contest at halftime. Freed Hardeman broke free for 52 points in the second half, which tells you 2 things, maybe more than 2. It tells me 2 things anyway. Number 1 is that the Saints can hang in there with just about everybody in the country, but number 2, relevant for this game, is that no matter how well you've played and no matter how much you've stifled a good offense in the first half, it's a 40-minute game. Saints have a lot of work to do today as E.J. Charles tries for the alley-oop on the inbounds play, not able to finish off the pass from Dakota Joachim. 1-point lead for the Tigers. Here's Murphy on the outside. Gives it up top to Schmidt. Schmidt guarded by Joachim. Pump fake, drive to the left. Blocked by Ochiaka. Schmidt gets it back and scores on his second effort. So Tyler Schmidt's starting to turn his game around. 6 points for the senior guard. 24-21, Olivet Nazarene leads. Ochiaka over to Joachim. His entry pass is intercepted and a foul is called on Ramel Davis, trying to fight for positioning to receive that pass. Insult to injury. He's called for the foul and he didn't even get the pass. Olivet ball up by 3. They've been ahead by as many as 5 points. That matches St. Francis's largest lead of the game too. Schmidt to Flederer, 3-pointer. A little bit too strong. Rebound tracked down by Tyler Schmidt. Second chance Tigers. Schmidt gets the screen to his left, stripped. Dakota Joachim takes it away. Saints have numbers. Tay Jones in the front court, fouled by Flederer. 2 fouls on Flederer. Sam Emick has 2 fouls. Eli Edwards has 2 fouls. Foul trouble early on for Olivet Nazarene. 2 shots for a good foul shooter here, Tay Jones, who has 3 points in the game. Jones makes the first, 24-22. Aside from a few seconds here or there, this has been a 1-possession game. Jones misses on the second free throw. So it is still a 1-possession game with 24-22 and a chance to get within 1. Schmidt holds it deep, shovels it off to Murphy. Daniel Murphy attacks from the right side, kicks it back out. Schmidt, 13 seconds on the shot clock. A good find from Schmidt, got it to Gabe Renshin, but well defended. Renshin has to pass it back out. Now the ball is loose on the floor. And a jump ball. Saints have it. Oh, I take that back. They did not call a jump ball. Timeout is called with the ball in Olivet Nazarene's hands. So they were able to secure possession and call a timeout. So the Saints still do have the possession arrow, but the Tigers have the ball. 4 seconds on the shot clock for Olivet Nazarene. The Fighting Saints came up with a couple of good defensive stops there. Weren't able to force the turnover, but they have put the Tigers in a tough position on this possession. They have just 4 seconds to find a good shot. It has not been a great offensive first half for Olivet Nazarene. A team that is certainly known for its offense, has been for a while under Nick Berkey. They've had some really impressive offensive players over the years. Schmidt is one of the best. But the Saints have kept him pretty well bottled up in the first half today. Sam Emick's the one guy who really was a hot shooter early for Olivet, but he's been on the bench for the last several minutes after picking up his second foul. Swearingen will inbound with 4 on the shot clock. Gets it into Schmidt. Fired inside, E.J. Charles knocks it out of bounds. Still Olivet's ball. They used up half of their shot clock there, though. It's down to 2 seconds. Daniel Murphy gets it in up top to Gabe Renshin, and a shot clock violation. They had 2 showing on the clock. It was a short 2. And Renshin couldn't get one off. So it is a turnover after all. 2:32 to play. First half, St. Francis can tie or take the lead here. Dakota Joachim passes off to Ramel Davis. Joachim, uncovered, steps up to the line, misses the 3. Rebound grabbed by the senior Renshin. Renshin's pass looking for Schmidt, knocked away by E.J. Charles. Out of bounds. Caleb Swearingen is the inbounder. Swearingen is from Brazil, but probably not the Brazil you would think of. He's from Brazil, Indiana, which I have to admit, I didn't know was a place. I think until the first time I saw Caleb Swearingen's hometown. Tyler Schmidt drives, puts it up over Charles, misses off the glass. Swearingen tries to grab the rebound, but it's stripped out of his hands. Here's Dakota Joachim. Saints slow it down. Ben Kreitz holds on the outside. Kreitz makes a move to his right, passes off to Joachim in that direction. Cross court, Tay Jones. Jones dribbles in from the corner. Well defended by Olivet. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Ramel Davis backs his way in. Turnaround for Davis. Floats it up and in over the outstretched arm of Austin Eifert. Davis has his first field goal today. We're knotted up 24-24 with 90 seconds to play in the half. And a foul called on Ben Kreitz underneath the basket. That is number 6 on the Fighting Saints. It's the second on Kreitz. He's going to depart here. Kazimiro Chiaka comes in. Daniel Murphy is the inbounder for Olivet Nazarene. 22 on the shot clock. Tie game 24-24. Olivet has led the majority of the first half, but we've gone back and forth quite a bit. Renchen crosses to his left, finds Schmidt. Good defense from Dakota Joachim. Schmidt sends it up top. It's Murphy. Over the right side, Swearingen. Swearingen gets the switch, steps back and misses a three-pointer over Kazimiro Chiaka. Rebound tipped to Davis. Saints have the ball as we approach the 1 minute mark. Tie game, Tay Jones, great cut, and he finishes with a reverse layup off a beautiful feed from Davis. Saints lead 26-24. Murphy dribbles to the right, all the way in tight, kicks it into the corner. This is Renchen on the drive, sends it out to Swearingen. Swearingen, runner in the paint, no good. Rebound tipped around and brought in by Austin Eifert, who scores on the second effort. Offensive rebounds have been a godsend for Olivet. They haven't had a ton of second chance points, but they have had a lot of offensive boards that have given themselves extra opportunities. 26 all. 5-second difference between shot and game clocks here. Saints will run as much clock, it seems, as they can. Davis, mid-range jumper from the right side. Off the rim, no. Push for the rebound, knocked out of bounds. Last touched by Olivet. And now the shot clock is off, so St. Francis can take the final possession of the half. And if they play their cards right, they can take the lead into halftime. 26-26, we're tied right now. And an offensive foul called on the Saints. They did not play their cards right. Played a 2 or something, I don't know. I don't know what game we're playing, of cards anyway. Playing basketball out there. E.J. Charles is called for his first foul. 12 seconds for Olivet. They'll try to take the lead into halftime. Daniel Murphy's pass stolen by Joachim. Ahead to Charles, right back to Joachim. Streaking in, layup is good, and that's how the first half ends. A steal and a bucket for the Fighting Saints, and against the 18th ranked team in the country, St. Francis has a halftime lead. 28-26 is our score after 20 minutes of play. We're halfway through this thing. The Saints will try to keep it going for another 20 minutes and pull off the upset win. Trying to snap a 5-game losing streak here. They're in good shape through half the ball game. We'll be back with first half stats and second half coverage in about 15 minutes. 28-26, St. Francis in front at halftime. We're through half a game of basketball here at the Sullivan Center in Joliet, Illinois. Terry Bonadonna back with you for the second half of St. Francis versus Olivet Nazarene. Good first half, especially if you're a fan of the home team. St. Francis kind of surprising Olivet Nazarene so far with a 28-26 lead. Olivet, the 18th ranked team in the country, came in with a record of 9-3. They have lost a conference game. They fell in a tight one against Roosevelt not too long ago. And now the Saints are trying to deliver them their second loss of CCAC play. St. Francis came in at 2-7 overall, just 1-3 in conference play. So to anybody who hasn't really been paying attention beyond the numbers, this result through 20 minutes is probably a big surprise, but I've talked a lot about it already. St. Francis kind of defies those numbers. They're 2-7, but they have played much, much better than that. Their average margin of defeat this year is 1.2 points. Actually, I take that back. It's the opposite. They allow 67.5 points per game. They score 68.7, so they've actually outscored their opposition on the season despite a 2-7 record, which is almost impossible. But remember, 3 of those losses came in overtime, and another one came by just 1 point. They've had some very tight defeats this year against some really good opponents. So I think they're proving to some people around the CCAC today that they are a lot better than their record would indicate. We'll see if that turns into a victory in the second half. Leaders for St. Francis so far today, Tay Jones and E.J. Charles each have 6 points. Nadav Gerner paces the team with 4 rebounds. Sam Emick has 9 to lead Olivet. He did that in just 10 minutes in the first half. 9 points, that is. 10 minutes in the first half because of foul trouble. Austin Eifert is the Tigers' leader with 6 rebounds. Underway in the second half. It's Ramel Davis taking it inside, knocked away from him, and he's called for the travel. It was knocked free, he got it back and then fell. And as he fell, traveling was called. So the Saints turn it over on their opening possession. Same as they did in the first half, and that worked out okay. So we'll see if the same thing is in store here in the second stanza. Tyler Schmidt, just 2 of 9 from the field so far for 6 points. As a team, Olivet is shooting 32%. They turned it over 11 times in the first half. So disastrous offensive performance in the first as Emick misses the shot. Davis grabs the rebound. If you're the Saints, you talk about how great you played defensively in the first half. If you're the Tigers, you say, hey, we played terrible offensive first half. We're still only down by 2. So both teams could find a silver lining. Davis drives to the left hand, layup no. Rebounded by Emick. And a foul called on Charles as he runs into Landon Flederer. Second foul on E.J. Charles. He and Ben Kreitz now each have 2. Foul trouble for Olivet. Landon Flederer, Sam Emick, and Eli Edwards all were called for 2 fouls in the first half. We've got a foul on the defense away from the ball. This goes on Nadav Gerner, and now he's got 1. Just 65 seconds into the second half. No points yet. Couple of fouls called against the Fighting Saints. Flederer into Edwards. Eli Edwards working against E.J. Charles. Outside Schmidt. Half the shot clock gone. Top of the key, 3-pointer is good. Sam Emick has 12 points. First player in double figures. That's our 7th lead change of the game. We've also been tied 6 times. Kreitz gives to Davis. Ramel Davis from the top, drives to the left side. Davis working against Edwards, kicks it outside. Charles thought about the 3, puts it on the floor instead. 4 to shoot. Charles does step back and shoot the 3. No good. Rebounded by Landon Flederer. 1 point lead for Olivet Nazarene. Schmidt inside to Emick. Emick spins around, bounces underneath the basket. Schmidt, turnaround, misses. Rebound Charles. Tyler Schmidt now 2 of 10 from the field today. Gerner hands it to Jones. Tay Jones circles the perimeter, sends it up top to Gerner. Here's Ben Kreitz at the elbow. Jones's pass inside to Davis is knocked out of bounds by Landon Flederer. It'll stay with the Fighting Saints. 11 seconds on the shot clock as they inbound from underneath the Olivet basket. Gerner lobs it for Davis, poked away and stolen. Flederer picks up the loose ball. Ahead to Emick. Emick is blocked by Charles. Great defense in transition from E.J. Charles. Here come the Saints the other way. Jones hounded by Emick. Up top, Kreitz, and St. Francis slows it down. Here's Nadav Gerner backing it up to the logo. He walks to the right side, guarded by Swearingen. Kreitz over to Tay Jones on the left. 12 to shoot. Tay Jones looks around, can't find anybody. Takes it in himself at the free throw line. Jones, turnaround jumper, good. Nice move by Tay Jones. Saints in front, 30 to 29. There's our 8th lead change of the game. 8 points for Jones. Schmidt fires inside Edwards, who lays it up and in. Olivet on top. Two defenders closed in on Schmidt as it looked like he was gearing up to take the shot. He found the open man that was left alone by the double team. And an easy bucket for Edwards. Here's Charles on the cut, blocked by Swearingen. Swearingen takes it the other way. Olivet trying to build on a 1-point lead. Flederer for three, it's short. Rebounded by Ramel Davis. Tay Jones works his way inside, layup is good. And Tay Jones has 10. First Fighting Saint in double figures. 10 points in 17 minutes for Tay Jones. Three-pointer for Emick. He responds beautifully. And we go back and forth here in this second half. Neither side has scored twice in a row since halftime. Pass into Davis is deflected away, but right to Nadav Gerner. Gerner outside to Jones. Jones from the right. Works his way into the block. Turnaround jumper misses. Rebound Swearingen. So Olivet has a chance to take a 2-possession lead. Something neither team's been able to say yet this half. Tay Jones is called for the foul. They've gotten away with a little bump on Flederer earlier in the possession. He got greedy trying to reach in. Jones is called for his first foul. Subs for the Saints, Dakota Joachim and Casimir Ochiaka are in. Schmidt works his way in left side. Schmidt pulls up, shoots over Joachim from about 5 feet out. Tyler Schmidt is successful. He's got 8 points, and Olivet leads by 4. Their biggest lead is 5, same for St. Francis. Dakota Joachim passes to the top of the key. It's Tay Jones driving. Jones pulls up, kicks out to Gerner. Gerner looks to the cutting E.J. Charles, and Charles is fouled on his way to the hoop. Great bounce pass from Nadav Gerner. And Charles gets a shot from the line here. 2 shots from the line. Follows the third on Eli Edwards. Edwards played only 8 minutes in the first half because he picked up 2 quick fouls. And now his third, 5 minutes into the second half. Charles makes the first free throw. E.J. Charles has 7 points. He's 3 of 3 from the line. Lewis McGlasson comes on for the Fighting Saints. McGlasson provided a nice spark off the bench. 4 points, 2 rebounds, and a steal in 6 minutes in the first half. Charles misses short on the second free throw, but it's an offensive rebound for Ochiaka. Casimir Ochiaka goes high off the glass, no good on his shot. Rebounded by Flederer. Flederer wants to run for Olivet. Tosses it inside to Swearingen, and E.J. Charles overruns him. Swearingen has an easy deuce. 38-33. 6 points for Swearingen. Olivet has matched their largest lead of the game. St. Francis doesn't want to see what happened on Sunday to happen again here today. They played tight. It was a 1-point game against the 11th ranked team in the country in the first half. Ochiaka misses from close range, but he's fouled. And they got blown out in the second half. Outscored by 26 points. after halftime on Sunday. Today they played Olivet tough, actually scored at the buzzer of the first half to take a 28-26 lead. But they've seen Olivet outscore them 12-5 so far in this half. Ochiaka misses the first free throw. Casimir Ochiaka, not a very good free throw shooter. This is his first attempt of this year. He struggled from the line last season. Didn't look all that good on the first one tonight. Second one looks pretty bad as well. Lewis McGlasson's called for the foul, going over the back. Olivet gets away with the foul, no points allowed. And they've got the ball back with a 5-point lead. Gerner and Casper are in for the Saints. Jones and Ochiaka leave. It's Gerner, Casper, Charles, Joachim, and McGlasson. Flederer, shadowed by Gerner, hands it off to Swearingen. Right side Emick for three. Off the mark, offensive rebound Murphy. Second chance for Olivet. It's Schmidt banking it in. In the first half, Olivet Nazarene had 12 offensive rebounds. Only 4 second chance points. But this time they make the Saints pay for not boxing out. And they call timeout. 40-33, Olivet leads, 13:45 to play in regulation. St. Francis had a lead here in this second half. They were up by 2 at halftime. And then the Saints and Tigers traded baskets for a little while. St. Francis was last on top at 32-31. And Olivet since then has gone on a 9-1 run to take the biggest lead that either side has had all game. Saints play tough defense, but when you're going up against a team as skilled offensively as Olivet is, you have to expect that they're going to go on a run at some point. And that means that St. Francis needs to respond by hitting some shots, and so far here in the second half, they haven't been able to do that consistently. So they talked it over during the timeout. We'll see what Ryan Marks has drawn up coming out of that break. E.J. Charles walks it up the floor, passes off to Nadav Gerner. Here's Joachim, top of the key. E.J. Charles facing Sam Emick, fires a jumper. No good from about 15 feet out, and the rebound goes to Olivet Nazarene. So the Tigers are getting their stops now, and they have not been denied on the other end. It's a big defensive possession for the Saints. Flederer picks up his dribble, gives to Swearingen. Inside Tyler Schmidt, backing in on Joachim. Schmidt, turnaround, right-hander, good. Well, you don't want Schmidt to get hot. He really struggled throughout the first half. And here in the second half, he's been much sharper. 12 points now for the All-American senior. Nadav Gerner over to E.J. Charles. Charles drives left side. He's fouled. E.J. Charles, the reigning CCAC Player of the Week, performing well again today. He's had a nice day on both ends of the floor. 7 points for him. He's 3 of 4 from the free throw line. And he's got 2 more shots coming up here. First one misses. He's missed his last 2. The Saints have missed their last 4 foul shots as a team. 9-point game. And Charles makes the second. 42-34, 12:44 to play. Flederer across half court. Passes to his right, it's Emick. Here's Flederer on the left wing. Looking down low for Emick, knocked away by Nadav Gerner, but the Tigers get it back, 10 to shoot. Flederer backs in. Pass out to Daniel Murphy. Murphy drives down the lane. Murphy has a layup and he scores. Blew by Connor Casper. Now the ball knocked away by Tyler Schmidt. He gets the steal off the inbounds pass. Schmidt takes a couple of steps, and no basket. He traveled. There was certainly some contact down low as well, so there was a little bit of a question as to whether that would be a travel or a foul, but it certainly looked like Schmidt took more than his share of steps before putting that shot out. Olivet gets the steal. They're not able to turn it into any points. McGlasson from the corner. Dribbles around to the wing. Now drives on Murphy. McGlasson all the way in. Layup. Doesn't matter. It's a charge. So I gave the number in the first half. 85% of McGlasson's shots this year have been three-pointers. Twice today he has driven to the basket, which is a rare sight. And both times there's been a foul called. Once he went to the line, but not this time. He's called for the offensive foul. Saints turn it over. (44-34), under 12 minutes to play. We were back and forth for most of the game, but Olivet's taken control over the last couple of minutes. The drive from Emick. Emick throws it down. It's a 15-2 run for Olivet Nazarene. And they lead St. Francis by 12. Dakota Joachim loses the ball, gets it back, now fires inside looking for Kreitz, but it's knocked away by Swearingen. Swearingen thought Joachim was going to shoot there. He wasn't even looking at the ball. But not a very good pass. It was sent right off of Swearingen's chest. And so Olivet was able to take it away. Flederer shakes Joachim loose. Now gets around E.J. Charles, and he's tripped up from the backside. Foul called on E.J. Charles, number 3 on Charles, 6th on the team. Timeout St. Francis. 10:57 to play, and Ryan Marks does not want to see this game get out of hand because it's starting to lean in that direction. And that's what I said at halftime. The last thing you want out of this game if you're St. Francis is a repeat of Sunday. So far, that's exactly what it's been. Play a top 20 team essentially to a draw for the first half. And the defense just wasn't there in the second half on Sunday against Freed Hardeman. And Freed Hardeman's a team with a similar resume to what Olivet Nazarene has, both in terms of their results and their stats. A high-scoring team. Olivet's one of the best offensive teams in the country. When you score 93 points per game and you're held to 26 and a half, number one, you got to tip your cap to the defense, but number two, you make some adjustments and you come out and you don't score 26 points and a half again. I don't think anybody in the arena thought that that was going to happen, that St. Francis would repeat their defensive performance from the first half, and the offense needs to adjust then. When you know that the Tigers are going to put up a few more points, you've got to match those points, and St. Francis just hasn't been able to do it. They've scored only 6 points in 9 minutes since halftime. And this has been their problem this year, and the maybe primary reason that their record is 2-7. So often they look great for 30 or 35 minutes in a game, but the offense just disappears for long stretches. Sometimes it's early, sometimes it's late. But it's happened almost every game that there's been at least one prolonged stretch where they haven't been able to score, and they're going through it right now. Their last 2 points have both come from free throws. They haven't hit a field goal in about 7 minutes. It's a 15-2 run for Olivet. Tyler Schmidt inside. Schmidt turnaround off the glass and in. Schmidt's got 14 now. That's exactly what Olivet's lead is. 48-34. Casper over to Joachim. Joachim loses the ball, tries to chase it down, and Schmidt steps on the sideline, going after the same loose ball that Joachim was. Saints keep it. Davis on the sideline. Into Connor Casper. 13 to shoot for St. Francis. Nadav Gerner with 8 seconds on the shot clock. Gets a screen rolling to his left. Gerner pulls up, picks up his dribble. 2 seconds to shoot. Gerner has to force one up, and he can't get the rim. So that's a shot clock violation. Or out of bounds. It hit some of the mechanisms above the backboard, so whether the shot clock went off first or the ball went out of bounds first, I don't know. It's a turnover, or I guess just a missed shot. Either way, it's Olivet ball. That pass off the hands of Tyler Schmidt, not completed, and the Saints take it away. St. Francis needs to get on a run. Post haste. Ramel Davis facing Daniel Murphy, fires a jumper and misses it. Rebound Gerner. Nadav Gerner pulls it back outside. Here's Connor Casper on the leaner with the right hand, no good. Olivet takes it away. Nine and a half minutes to play. Big lead for the Tigers. Knocked away from Murphy, and Kreitz can't keep it in. It's out of bounds, last touch by St. Francis. .15 on the shot clock for Olivet. Tay Jones checks back in. Dakota Jokim's had a tough night so far. He heads to the bench. Inbound it to Emick. They tried for the alley-oop, didn't work. Here's Gerner leading the break to Tay Jones. Layup is good. That snaps a drought of about 8 minutes since the last time that the Fighting Saints had made a field goal. A much-needed basket for them to make it a 12-point game. Sam Emick working hard in the post. No good. Casper grabs the rebound. Kreitz hands to Jones. Three-pointer. Off to the side and out of bounds. .48-36. Not over by a long shot, but St. Francis has not found any offensive rhythm in this second half. They've got 8 minutes and 40 seconds to discover it. Tyler Schmidt works at the top, dishes off to the right side. Emick. Sam Emick over to Landon Flederer on the right. 12 seconds to shoot for Flederer. Flederer drives on Gerner, works inside, pulls up and draws the foul. Nadav Gerner is called for his second. Flederer is headed to the free throw line. Landon Flederer, 15-point per game scorer this year. Solid 78% from the line, makes the first. Olivet's been excellent as a team from the free throw line today. Haven't had a ton of opportunities, but they've made them count. Senior Flederer hits the second free throw. .50-36. Davis outside the three-point line, passes back towards half court and Casper. Here's Jones on the right. Tay Jones drives. Jones gives it in to Ben Kreitz back outside. Here's Jones along the baseline. His pass towards Casper is knocked out of bounds, last touched by Casper. St. Francis turns it over, 8 minutes to play. It's a 17-4 run for Olivet Nazarene. There's Tyler Schmidt going back to work. Off the glass from in the paint, Schmidt has 16, and for as tough as Schmidt's start was today, a really rocky first half, he's closing in on his season average. He's got 16 points now. It's one behind Sam Emick's 17 for the game high. Davis, turnaround, can't quite get it to go, but he is fouled by Caleb Swearingen. Davis goes to the line. Swearingen called for his second foul. Fourth on the Tigers. Davis is 1 of 2 at the free throw line so far today. Just 3 points for him. Came in averaging better than 10 per game. He makes the first here. It's his first point of the second half. Misses the second, and the rebound is grabbed by Swearingen. (52-37). Olivet by 15. They trailed by 2 at halftime. Landon Flederer passes off to Tyler Schmidt. Schmidt thought about the 3. Now he'll take that 3. Air ball. He waited too long. Wanted to shoot in rhythm, but Nadav Gerner had some good defense, closed in, and did not allow Schmidt to feel comfortable. So Schmidt repositioned his feet and then decided to take the shot anyway, and very definitively not in rhythm at that point. Gerner lobs it for Charles. Charles lays it up and can't finish. Pass was a little bit too short to complete the alley-oop. Here's Emick, blocked by Ben Kreitz out of bounds. Even with that short pass, Charles almost got it in. He reached back. He was looking for the dunk at the end of the alley-oop, but he tried to turn it into a layup instead and just came up short. Tyler Schmidt receives the entry pass, misses the turnaround, and Daniel Murphy can't connect on the tip-in. Tay Jones, fouled by Landon Flederer. Third foul on Flederer. Just number 5 on Olivet. They still have 1 to give. The Tigers call a timeout. 6:33 to play. 52-37, Tigers in front. Ranked number 18 in the most recent NAIA poll. That poll is nearly a month old now, but they go a month between them at this time of year. There aren't as many games in December. Going forward, it'll be every 2 weeks. Olivet has lost since that last ranking came out, so I'm not sure where they'll be upon the release of the next poll, but they are 1-1 since being placed at number 18. They peaked this year at number 13 in the top 25 poll. Highest rated CCAC team. Well, they did lose a game to Roosevelt. Roosevelt has been strong this year as well. St. Francis shooting just 29% today as a team. They are 3 of 12 since halftime. They've got to get this offense rolling in a hurry if they want to have any chance in this game. E.J. Charles working against Schmidt all the way in, off the backboard, no good. Davis, second chance, got it. There's a big bucket for the Fighting Saints. Davis has 6. Tay Jones pokes it away from Flederer. Flederer chases it down though. Around a screen, Flederer pulls up. Free throw line extended right side, passes it off to Tyler Schmidt. Schmidt throws it away, looking for Emick. It's intercepted by Nadav Gerner. Gerner all the way underneath the basket, tripped up by Flederer, his 4th foul. Matches his uniform number. That's the 6th on the Tigers. So everybody will get free throws from now on. Eli Edwards checks back in. We haven't seen a lot of Eli Edwards today. He's got 3 fouls, and his foul trouble has kept his playing time limited. Casimiro Chiaka comes in for Ben Kreitz. As soon as he gets his shirt tucked in, we'll be ready to go. 5:52 to play, 52-39. St. Francis got to stop on their last possession if they score here. That's 2 in a row for them. Gives them a little momentum. Nadav Gerner works his way down to the corner, kicks it out to E.J. Charles. Wanted the three-pointer, didn't have it. Instead, he throws it away. It's intercepted by Edwards, and Edwards is fouled from behind by Nadav Gerner, his third. Eli Edwards is going to the free throw line. One and one for Edwards. He's got 4 points so far. He makes the front end. One more to come. Second shot for Edwards misses. And Charles grabs the rebound. Here's Charles all the way in. No good on the layup. Rebound tipped out to Nadav Gerner. Tay Jones, three-pointer. Can't connect from the corner. The rebound is tracked down by number 10, Sam Emick. Saints have gotten a few stops in a row. Just what they needed. But they also needed to convert on the other end. Hasn't been happening. Schmitz off to Andrews. Back to Schmidt. Olivet has just 1 point on their last 3 possessions. We're going to get a foul called here on the defense. It's a double foul, actually. They call one on Nadav Gerner and one on Sam Emick. So the two of them were tussling for position, I guess, and they call a foul on both men. So they'll reset the shot clock to 20 and keep the ball in Olivet's possession. Schmidt, open three. Short. There's the tip from Emick. It hits every part of the rim and falls. Timeout called, 4:56 to go. 55-39. No timeout, sorry. A technical foul called. Didn't see who they assigned the technical to. Did Sam Emick say something after he made that shot? I don't know. I won't question it because it is a technical foul on Olivet one way or the other. That means that Tay Jones is going to get 2 free throws and the Fighting Saints will take the ball. So they didn't get the stop that time, but it'll feel like they did if they can make this a double possession. Jones makes the first free throw. They've got a chance to make this a 4 or a 5 point possession. Jones makes 1 of 2 from the line. 55-40. The technical on Emick also counts as a personal foul, and that's his 4th. So he has to head to the bench with 19 points in the game. It's a big loss for Olivet. Nadav Gerner scoops it up, just under 5 minutes to play. Saints down by 15. They led by 2 at halftime. Second half has been dominated by Olivet Nazarene. But a foul called on the Tigers here. That's number 4 on Eli Edwards. 1 and 1 for Davis. He is 2 of 4 today on free throws. Davis misses the front end, and the rebound goes to Olivet. They had a chance to make that a big possession. Technical foul, they got 2 free throws and the ball back, but they ended up with just 1 point out of it. They missed 2 free throws in a row. Gerner picks the pocket of Tyler Schmidt. Schmidt, though, picks up the loose ball. Out of bounds, last touched by the Fighting Saints. Inbounds pass goes awry, chased down by Gerner. Nadav Gerner streaks to the hoop and lays it in. 4 points for Gerner, 13-point game. Saints trying to hang around. It's Swearingen. Guarded by Jones. Swearingen cuts back to the middle, bounces to Edwards. Daniel Murphy underneath the hoop. Rolls it outside. Tyler Schmidt. Awkward pass, but he's able to find Murphy, and Murphy is fouled. Daniel Murphy heads to the free throw line. 2 shots here. Tigers are now in the double bonus as E.J. Charles picks up his 4th. So Charles has 4. Nadav Gerner has 4 for Olivet. Edwards has 4. And Emick has 4. Murphy makes the first free throw. A lot of fouls, but the difference here in the second half is that Olivet's been making their foul shots. St. Francis has not. Murphy makes them both. 15-point game. Hard to believe that for the vast majority of this thing, it was neck and neck. Olivet has pulled away. Davis up to Gerner, bounce to the elbow. It's Kazimir Ochiaka. Davis out beyond the three-point line on the left side of the floor, works his way in, pull up from 8 feet out, knocks down the jumper. Three and a half minutes to go. Edwards gives to Murphy. Murphy back at half court. 2 dribbles, fires underneath. It's Schmidt right next to the hoop. Schmidt can't finish. Out of bounds. Last touched by St. Francis. Well, that'll get another opportunity. Flederer has 4 fouls as well. I didn't mention him a few moments ago. He's back in the game. Flederer is the one who inbounded that pass. 12 seconds on the shot clock. Schmidt loses the ball, gets it back with 9 to shoot. Driving on Ochiaka. Schmidt fights inside, throws it off the glass, no good. And a foul called on the loose ball. This goes against St. Francis, and it's called on Nadav Gerner. That's 5 for him. So Gerner will leave. He'll be replaced for the final 3 minutes and 4 seconds by somebody. Ryan Marks hasn't made a move just yet. Eli Edwards is going to get a pair of free throws. Lewis McGlasson is the guy who's going to check in for the Saints.
Eli Edwards at the line for 2.
Edwards' first foul shot misses. Second one is good. He makes 1 of 2. He's got 6 points, and his team lead is 14. 58-44, 3 minutes to play. Davis bounces to the cutting Charles, and E.J. Charles finishes with a flourish. Another double-digit scoring day for Charles. 10 points for the senior. Murphy out to Swearingen. 15 seconds gone from the shot clock. Flederer gets a screen, moving to his right. Flederer, step back 3. Rims out, rebound Tay Jones. Jones going coast to coast. Jones gives it up at the last instant to Davis, and Ramel Davis is fouled. Foul is called on Tyler Schmidt. Number 3 on Schmidt. Just about everybody on the floor, it seems, has foul issues. Nadav Gerner has already fouled out for St. Francis, as Davis's first free throw is no good. It's a doubleheader. St. Francis won the women's game before this, 90-80 over Olivet's women's team. Saints also lost their point guard in that one, though, to a foul out. Davis makes the second, which has no connection to this one, but Lorelei Thormeyer fouled out of the women's game. Nadav Gerner has fouled out of the men's game. I can't remember the last time I saw back-to-back games on the same day in which the point guard fouled out. You just don't see it very often. Olivet's point guard Landon Flederer is playing with 4 fouls as well. Under 2 minutes to play in the game. This is Flederer inside. A little layup is good. Nice control by Flederer, keeping his feet in bounds, making the reverse. Charles loses the ball. Picked up by Edwards. Fired ahead for Murphy. Daniel Murphy lays it in. Should just about do it. Olivet's lead is 15 with a minute and a half to go. Saints will try to fight down the stretch just the same. Davis out to Jones. Jones spins down the lane. Turnaround jumper. Good. A timeout called by St. Francis. 15 points for Tay Jones. He leads the Fighting Saints today, trying to take his scoring crown back from E.J. Charles, who surpassed him a couple of days ago as the team leader. Charles has had a pretty good game today as well, with 10 points of his own. A minute 16 remain on the clock. St. Francis is on the verge of dropping their 6th consecutive game. And another tough one. If you look at that 6-game losing streak, there was one game that they fell in double overtime. There was one that they dropped on a last-second buzzer-beating three-pointer. They lost by 1 point that day. And then this is the 2nd consecutive game, assuming there's not a miracle comeback here, in which they will have lost to a top 20 team after playing them even in the first half. On Sunday, they had a 1-point deficit against Freed Hardeman, ended up losing by 27. Here today, they were leading by 2 at halftime, but have been down by double digits for most of the second half. They've still played well, especially defensively. They've held one of the best scoring teams in the country, Olivet Nazarene, to only 62 points with 76 seconds left. You'd have to consider that a victory, no question, but they just have not had the firepower necessary on the offensive end. Now, of course, the Saints have been dealing with injuries. The biggest one actually happened before the season. They lost their leading scorer from last year, Aitor Arte, out for the year. Daniel Murphy's able to break the St. Francis press. Fired off to Schmidt. He's fouled and he finishes. Now a chance for 3 points for Schmidt. Fouls on Dakota Joachim, his second. He came on for his defense, but now leaves for Ramel Davis's offense. Ben Kreitz also comes in for Connor Casper. Free throw is good. 13 points in the second half for Tyler Schmidt. So after a rough beginning, he is going to finish right around his season average. Scores 21 points a game. Charles sends it into Davis. Ramel Davis, turnaround, no good. Rebound knocked out of bounds. Last touched by the Tigers. 58 seconds to play. The shot clock is at 20 for the Fighting Saints. Jones inbounds to McGlasson. Step back 3, no good. Rebound fought for and won by E.J. Charles. Charles lays it in. Timeout called now, 52 seconds on the clock, 65-51. So the Saints will draw up a defense once again. Didn't work out on the last timeout, as Olivet was able to come down the floor, score quickly, and make it a 3-point play on a foul. This one is over unless the Saints can get about 4 steals off of inbounds passes. So that's probably not exactly what they're talking about on the sideline right now, but that's got to be in the back of their minds that it's not just good enough at this point to play tough defense with 52 seconds left. You want to make a comeback of these proportions, you're going to have to face, or force, I should say, immediate turnovers. There's no time to waste at all. You can't send Olivet to the line. You can't let them run any time off the clock. The Saints are trying to play it hard to the end just to have something to build on going forward. They're next out there on Saturday. And then they return home a week from today. On the road on Saturday. They will be at home on Wednesday against Governor's State. Same time as today, a 7 o'clock start to that one. It'll be 2 o'clock Central Time on Saturday. They'll be in South Bend to take on Holy Cross. Swearingen inbounds it to Schmidt, who's fouled by E.J. Charles. Like I said, you need to get the steal in that case. Obviously, the Saints would have preferred that. But it's too late to play the fouling game as E.J. Charles becomes the second Fighting Saint to foul out of this one. Done for the day with 10 points. Nick Nigo will check in for him. If it's a 4-point game, you can foul to extend it. Just make the game go longer. Give yourself more time to come back. In a 14-point game, you need to get the steals or nothing. Schmidt makes the first free throw. I say that not to criticize Charles for fouling him, because obviously the Saints wanted to force the turnover. It just didn't happen for him. A lot of things haven't gone the way they've wanted here in the second half. 28-26 they led at halftime. They trail now 67-51. Davis works inside, scores, and draws the foul. That's the last thing that Olivet wanted to do. Mentioned that fouls aren't really helpful to the Fighting Saints right now. They really don't do anything good for Olivet. Davis will try to make it a 13-point deficit. And he does. Romel Davis, another guy who got off to a slow offensive start, but he's got 9 points here in the second half, a lot of them from the free throw line. And he's in double figures now with 12. The 3 guys that the Saints have who average double figures have all hit those numbers today. Flederer down in the corner, calls timeout. Good trap defense from St. Francis there, keeping Olivet on their toes in this final minute. 37 seconds remaining in the game. It is a full timeout. So Olivet Nazarene appears to be on their way to their 10th victory of the season. Assuming they wrap this one up, they'll improve to 4-1 in conference play. St. Francis will fall to 1-4, 2-8 overall. But another one you can file in the column of better than it looks on paper. In all likelihood, St. Francis will lose this game by double figures. But that does not take into account the fact that, number one, they led this game for a good portion of the first half. They were ahead at halftime and even had a lead a few minutes into the second half. We were tied 8 times today. We had 11 lead changes. But the last lead change occurred early in the second half. Saints were up 32-31, and then Olivet went on a 19-4 run and essentially put the game away right there. There was still time after that 19-4 run for the Saints to make a comeback, but they never really felt in it after that point. Caleb Swearingen will inbound. 3 seconds ran off the clock prior to the Olivet timeout. They'll face St. Francis's full court press again here. Swearingen fires it to the center of the court. Emick, nice bounce pass to Schmidt. Schmidt has it stripped away by Lewis McGlasson. St. Francis will try to score one more time here. McGlasson all the way in for the layup, no good. Davis tips it in. 25.2 on the clock, 12-point game. Olivet trying to get it across half court. Saints not fouling in the backcourt. Flederer does cross the timeline, and there he's fouled. I don't think that's what the Saints wanted to do. They wanted the steal, but once they got across half court, it looked like they were trying to trap him there. maybe force them to call a timeout or get a 5-second call. But the foul is called as Davis came into the play a little bit late. And so Landon Flederer gets 2 shots. First free throw is good. His 8th point of the game. One more shot for Landon Flederer. (69-56). Olivet leads. McGlasson steps back for 3, rolls it in. And a timeout called by St. Francis, their last timeout. 69-59, 11.7 seconds still remain in this game. And the Saints will have one last group talk over on the sideline. They will not be able to stop the clock again. Olivet still does have 3 timeouts. So if they're unable to get the ball in, that option still remains. Although coming out of this timeout, they've been facing a pretty tough St. Francis press the last few possessions. The timeout did come off of a made shot for the Fighting Saints. So they will, Olivet, be able to run the baseline to help get this ball in. I know they've had a little bit of trouble. They have gotten it in each time, but it's been a difficulty facing the St. Francis press. Lewis McGlasson hit the last 3. He's got 7 points in the game now. 2 of 3 from beyond the arc, so back to his old tricks. After he surprised me, at least, during today's game, taking it to the basket 3 times. He was not able to convert any of those 3 drives. However, he did turn one of them into 1 point. He was fouled, made 1 of 2 from the line. And then that last one a couple of possessions ago, his layup missed, but Davis tipped it in. So driving for McGlasson has not been a negative today, even though he hasn't directly scored other than that 1 point off of it. Swearingen set to inbound. He does move along the baseline, find Flederer, and Olivet gets it across half court, so the Saints will let him dribble out the clock. Tough defense in that final minute from St. Francis, but the 16-point deficit was too much to overcome, and this one is in the books as a 69-59 final. Olivet Nazarene defeats St. Francis. They pick up their 10th victory of the year and deliver St. Francis their 6th consecutive loss. Tough one for the Saints today in how similar it was to Sunday, but silver lining to the last couple of minutes of this game is that unlike Sunday when Freed Hardeman completely pulled away in the end, St. Francis did hang tough down the stretch, and they didn't let Olivet turn this into a laugher. The 69 points scored by the Tigers today is their lowest total of the season. A little bit lower than the 71 they scored in their 4-point loss to number 11 Indiana Wesleyan back in early November. And that defensive showing from the Saints today really gives them something to build on going forward. The defense has been great for St. Francis all year. They have kept pretty much everybody below their season average scoring-wise. Even Freed Hardeman on Sunday, who did put up that 50-plus point effort in the second half, they still finished below their season average in scoring. Today, St. Francis just wasn't able to put the ball in the basket themselves when they needed to. They led 28-26 at halftime. They did actually outscore their first half total here in the second half, scoring 31 points after halftime, but a lot of those were desperation points in the end. Didn't really fit into the flow of the game, which was a struggle for the Fighting Saints. Saints were led today by Tay Jones. Jones scored 15 points on 6 of 10 shooting. He was joined in double figures by Ramel Davis, who had 14, and E.J. Charles, who had 12. Olivet was led by Tyler Schmidt. Not a surprise to hear Schmidt's name as the team leader in points at 21, but a little bit of a surprise in how he got there. He struggled early on, only scored 6 in the first half, ended up 8 for 21 overall from the field, but he did score 21. Sam Emick had 19 for Olivet Nazarene. Final score, once again, 69-59. Olivet Nazarene takes out St. Francis. Saints fall to 2-8 overall, 1-4 in conference. They're back at it at home next Wednesday. They've got their next road game coming up on Saturday against Holy Cross. We'll have the broadcast for you next Wednesday as they take on Governor State 7 o'clock p.m. 1 week from today. Again, 69-59 our final score. That does it for us from Joliet. Thanks for tuning in to today's contest on the USF Sports Network. Hopefully you're with us for the next one as the Saints try to break out of their slump and convert on a couple of victories over the next week. Until next Wednesday, Terry Bonadonna signing off for the University of St. Francis from Joliet, Illinois. Have a good night.